This is a sentence correction question. On sentence correction questions, you have an underlined portion and you need to indicate whether the underlined portion is okay, in which case you're going to choose option A. Option A is always identical to the underlined portion. Or in case there is a mistake, you need to select either one of answer choices B through E. So try to solve the question. As I indicated, sentence correction questions are part of the verbal examination. You can have as few as 10, as many as 18, but usually it's between 14 and 15 questions per section. These are very, very tricky questions. Obviously, they're meant to trick people whose native tongue is English, so obviously it's not going to be easy. Let's start. First of all, the takeaways from sentence correction questions are going to be identical in format to the takeaways from the quantitative questions. So if we start reading the question, a wildlife expert predicts. What I want you to do whenever you see any sentence correction question on the examination, you need to actively read the sentence. You need to pay special attention to clauses, tenses, pronouns, and idioms, and you need to anticipate. In other words, it's very different to what most people, when they see these questions, do. When I see predict, the tense is present simple, and I'm expecting that everything is going to stay the same. If anything changes, then I know I'll need to examine it very, very closely. That's one. Two, this is actually 1, 2, 3 here that you see here. It's part of a flow chart. This is not the full flow chart by a long shot, but for our purposes, just for the purposes of giving you guys an example of what sentence correction looks like, this will have to do. The most important thing here is that if you see an error in the actual question, you need to stop immediately and eliminate the same error vertically, with the operative word being vertically. Most people, and probably some of you also did that, you read the sentence, you plugged answer choice B, C, D, E, and it takes a lot of time, and it's definitely not doable within 30 seconds. So if you spot an error, stop immediately. Let's see how that works. So an expert predicts that the reintroduction of the caribou into northern Minnesota. That's a very, very specific example of caribou. Not mind you, not southern Minnesota. That's a completely different caribou. But basically, a certain caribou, that population, the reintroduction would fail if. Okay, stop. One of the things I would like you to do is to know all of the verbal takeaways by heart. Whenever you see the word would, you need to immediately think, okay, I learned during the course that if I see the word would, I need to ensure that the preceding action took place in the past. In other words, if I do see would, right, the word would, then I have to make sure that there is another verb, the preceding verb is in the past. Now, we just said that this preceding word was in the present. Therefore, it's not that he predicts that it would. He predicted that it would, right? But if he predicts that it will. Now, since this is the non-underlined portion and this is underlined, that means that I can only fix this. In other words, it needs to be, he predicts that it will. So, what is the most important thing? As we said earlier, we need to do the following. If we spot an error, we need to stop reading immediately, and we need to eliminate the same error vertically. If the original line included would, that means that option A is immediately eliminated, but I also see would here, so I eliminate B. Should changes the meaning of the sentence, and on this examination you're not allowed to do that. Therefore, immediately after about 5 seconds of work, I see that the correct answer choice is either D or E. I plug in D. So the expert predicts that the reintroduction will fail if. This is the second thing that we're going to take that's specific to this question. Whenever you see if should be used to indicate a condition. So I'm looking forward to a condition. The population will fail if something happens. Mind you, if something happens, population will fail. After the if, we have it in present, and after the then is optional, we have it in future. Population will fail, that's the future, and the present is if the density of the timber wolf population in that region is greater than 1 wolf for every 39 square miles. Now, this answer choice looks great, but in addition to that, if I have enough time, because I work relatively efficiently, then I would also want to eliminate option E. E says that the reintroduction will fail, that is good, if, let's see, again, I'm looking for a condition, the timber wolf density in that region is, so first of all, condition is great. The mistake here is somewhere else. In that region, were more numerous than. No, the word were is used whenever we have a hypothetical conditional that talks about an unrealistic past. For example, if you were to call me, I would have come, but you didn't call me, therefore I didn't come. So therefore, that answer choice is incorrect. Correct answer choice is D. I know it looks like a lot to take in, but if you think about it, if you just read the sentence to begin with, the wildlife expert predicts that the reintroduction of the caribou into northern Minnesota would, no, stop, it's not would, this, and that is eliminated. Should changes the meaning. Well, you plug it in, it sounds good, that's it. You can solve this relatively difficult question in about 30 seconds.